Hello, my beautiful people. How is everyone doing? We were reading The Hobbit for the month of March.
Yes.
Yes, March. I don't really know what month it is anymore. But yes, we were reading The Hobbit. I have a small confession. This was a reread for me, so I have read it before and I have tabbed it, but I was listening to the audiobook today and I was hoping to finish it, but unfortunately I did not. So I'm going in blind with with my review of this. But Daniel is also here. He's at the other side of me at his desk.
Hello.
You did listen to it.
Yes.
And you have read it before. Mm-hmm. So I was listening to you listened to Andy Serkis version as well, didn't you?
Yeah, but you had the Rob Inglis one prior to that.
Yeah.
Which is also really good, but a nice modern twist for Andy Serkis.
Well, from what I've read of listened to of the Andy Serkis one, it is absolutely phenomenal. Like the voices that he puts on and the way he sings through the audiobook, it's so good. So if you didn't listen to this audibly, that's how you say that, isn't it? Audibly. And you're looking for it and you haven't had Audible or you haven't had it in a while, then you can get, I just got an offer of like 3 months for 99p or something. So check out the Andy Serkis version because it is absolutely amazing. I really, really enjoyed it. Like I said, I've not finished it though.
The best reason why it's Andy Serkis?
Well, the most obvious reason.
You never said.
Why is it, Daniel? Share.
I was going to try a Gollum impression there. But absolutely not.
Do it.
No.
I was then tempted to do one, but I'm also not going to do it because my impressions are terrible. Yeah. But mine would be like, no, not do it. I don't want to do it.
I'll go first and you go next.
No. Hello, Smaya. How are you? I've heard the Andy Serkis version is good, but I didn't want to spend money on it. That's totally fair enough. I understand that. If I hadn't got Audible for 99p for 3 months, then I wouldn't have done it either. But I think my library, we use BorrowBox for our library here. I know that everybody's libraries do different things, but Andy Serkis is on there, and it's a really big like waiting time. So yeah, that's why I went the Audible route. But I mean, I still have read a good chunk of it. I think I've only got like 2 hours and a bit left or something possibly. So I did do well on it. It's just I went into town today. Daniel and I went on the bus into town. Because Daniel's car is not doing too well. It's a bit poorly. So Daniel had to get on a bus, which when was the last time you got on a bus? Prior to the other day.
Like 6 years.
Yeah. So we got the bus together this morning and then Daniel had to go to work and I've just been wandering around the shops all day. And it was really nice actually. And I was listening to the audiobook whilst I was doing that because I thought that's the perfect time for me to do it. But yeah, I did not finish it. So I've got 2 hours and 41 minutes left. I got up to chapter 8. That doesn't even sound that good.
And what has been happening?
Well, we're going to go into how everybody feels about it and how everybody rated it. Perfect. And then I'll talk about what I've read up to. But I was saying to Daniel earlier that because I was walking around the shops and things, I wasn't really paying attention to the full story. And I only seemed to realise that I was listening to an audiobook when I was walking around when Andy Serkis was singing. That's the bits that I remember the best. My library didn't have the Andy Serkis version, just 2 other versions that were more like abridged radio plays. I've heard that they're not too bad though. Did you read it physically then? But what did everybody rate it? What did everybody think of it? Was it a reread for anyone? Was it a new read for anyone? Daniel, what did you rate it the second time around? I can't remember.
5-star all the time.
5-star.
Every read, it only gets better.
How many times have you read it now?
I've read it physically probably about 3 times.
Okay.
Listened to the Rob Inglis one twice, and this was the first for Andy Serkis.
I gave it 5 stars the first time I read it. I absolutely adored it. I read it for the first time in 2020. I did buy the illustrated versions a couple of years ago of The Hobbit and then all of the Lord of the Rings books, but I have not read the illustrated versions yet.
I think it's all dependent on your experience with what you read first, whether it was The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings.
I read The
And
Hobbit
then
first.
the films, taking that into consideration as well. So I
Yeah.
watched the films first, and then I
Mhm.
read Lord of the Rings, then I
Yeah.
read The Hobbit.
Ah,
So
right,
I
okay.
think it was like undoubtedly going to be amazing because
Yeah.
obviously of reading the other ones and watching the films. So
Yeah. I think the acting was fine, but I like to read along with the text and obviously couldn't. Yes, I read the ebook. I made it to chapter 7, I think, before I DNF'd. I was so sad that I saw that you DNF'd it, but it's not for everyone because I find, like, I've read The Hobbit, The Lord of the Rings, and I started The Two Towers, but I really struggled with The Two Towers and I pretty much DNF'd it. I was waiting to say it. I put it down and just never went back to it, and that's what a DNF is. But I do have a desire to actually read them all, but I think I'm gonna do the illustrated versions. But I do find his writing can be quite dense when it comes to like the fantasy element of it, because it is very much like they're walking, they're still walking, they're walking again, and now they're walking again.
what happens
So
when you travel?
yeah, so I do understand that it won't be everybody's cup of tea, and that could be quite boring for someone. I think because I'd watched the films first, I have more excitement to read the books. I think if I hadn't watched the films, I don't think I would have gelled that well with the books. I honestly don't know why it was so hard for me to read. It was just putting me in a slump, so I couldn't continue. Yeah, there's no point reading books that you don't enjoy, because what's the point? Says me, who read Kafka this year. I hate it. But that was for book club, so here we are. I'm 99% sure I could never read the Lord of the Rings books because they'd be much worse. If you did not enjoy The Hobbit, you are not going to like the Lord of the Rings books.
That's tough though, because The Hobbit was technically a children's book.
I know, but I love The Hobbit, and I really enjoyed the Lord of the Rings, but the Two Towers, I couldn't do it.
No.
I just couldn't do it. But I will one day do it. But for now, the thought of even wanting to pick that up is like so not in my interest.
I'm doing it this year.
You're gonna do it this year?
Absolutely.
Like I said, the only way I'm gonna do it is if I read the illustrated editions.
Yeah.
And they are beautiful. I think they're the most money I've spent on a book. Well, a box of books.
Yeah, I'd leave them and just read other copies.
But none of the rest of them are illustrated, and I do have more than one copy of the books as well. I do. How many? I think I've got 3 copies of the Two Towers, 2 of The Hobbit, and then 2 of all the others as well, which is totally unnecessary. But
I'm ordering it this year because, like I said, I rotate yearly with Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings. So one year I'll do Harry Potter, the next I'll do Lord of the Rings, and then kind of keep going like that.
Whereas generally I'll read Harry Potter pretty much every year.
Yeah.
Last year I did it audiobooks. This year I don't know if I'm going to read them this year, so there's just so many other books that I really want to read that are not them.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But you've also got every other kind of book in Tolkien's world as well.
Yeah, because you read
Twenty
was it
Silmarillion.
Silmarillion?
Yeah.
You really liked that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I'm
there's
not
a few
sure.
other ones as well that I've still actually to read for the first time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Not as in bad as in just not for me. No, yeah, like I said, it's not for everyone, and I think depending on what level of fantasy you enjoy, this might not be. Well, it's not for everyone. Have you watched the movies? Like, what do you think of the movies if you've seen them? I find that I really used to like the Hobbit movies, and then I read the book, and then I disliked the movies. Not disliked them, but they didn't bring me as much joy.
I didn't watch the Battle of the Five Armies. Well, when it came out, I must have left it about 3 months before watching it.
Yeah.
The excitement wasn't massively there after watching the first 2. But I think it's just such a contrast to the filming side of things for Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of touched on before. I think it's the kind of CGI side of things.
Yeah.
It was just hard to
take
super seriously.
It's not great.
And I just wasn't sure if it was meant to be more of a kind of, I don't know, childish to kind of go along with the books, but then there were so many serious scenes.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Lord of the Rings, and I don't know. That was a bit of a mixed match.
Can everyone hear Daniel okay, by the way? Just because you're over there, I'm not sure if everyone can. Because we've got the window open as well, because it's actually been a really hot
You
day
need to
today.
get me a mini microphone.
I've got a mini microphone. I should have done that.
That's a good idea, actually. Mic me up.
Literally the smallest little microphone in the world.
We'll do it next time.
Yeah, we'll do it next time. Steph is here. Hello. I forgot this was tonight. I rated it 4-star. Was this your first time reading it, Steph, or was this a reread? I feel like it was a reread for Steph.
I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure it was. Interesting because I love fantasy books, the whole range. I loved the Lord of the Rings movies, but I disliked all the Hobbit movies, though I did watch them all. They were just so boring. So you were never really gonna like the book. But I'm glad that you like the Lord of the Rings movies. I do feel like you probably wouldn't like the books though. Just if you can't get through the Hobbit, I really don't think. Well, I don't know actually.
I was going to say it's a different type of fantasy as well from like some of the other high fantasy, where it is either kind of like a throne that people are gunning for, and there's a lot of betrayal and murders and things like that. Whereas this is obviously more of an adventurous kind of thing. That obviously you've got people in power that you want to kind of dethrone in that sense, but it's obviously more so about the characters and the journey to destroy all the evil within Middle Earth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then obviously there's little side bits, but there isn't really many kind of say high romances or anything like that in it either. You've got a couple of little ones.
Yeah.
So I mean it is quite different, I suppose, to a lot of the high fantasies that we've got out just now.
Yeah.
But I haven't read a lot of other ones like take like Throne of Glass and kind of things like that.
I mean, I've only read Throne of Glass twice.
Yeah.
And not continued.
But I imagine like that would be such a contrast in a fantasy, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but I think Throne of Glass though, I think there is a romance somewhere, but it's like I'm not sure because I've only read the first one. I don't really fully know, but it's not like A Court of Thorns and Roses where it's like really smutty and you know that kind of side of things. I think it gets like that like later on in the series, but obviously I've not got that far, so I don't know. But fantasy wise, I really enjoyed it. But that is also marketed at young adult Throne of Glass, the same as The Hobbit was. Well, was the Hobbit was a children's story more than it was young adult.
Yeah.
So yeah, everyone can hear you. Cool. It was a reread for Steph. I thought it was. Samaya says, I don't know because the idea of the story is good, like the journeys, the goblins and the dragons and all that, but the execution was just not for me. That's absolutely fair enough.
Pains the heart.
What is everybody's favourite part of the book? Daniel, what's your favourite part of the book? Put you on the spot now.
I think it's a tough one because it is more so going along with the dialogue of the point of view from Bilbo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it is the whole part for me is the journey with him. Obviously, he hasn't been on any journeys before. It's always ancestor stories that he's heard, and he's kind of just doing it himself for the first time. So for me, I just enjoy that element of it.
Yeah.
But again, probably the section with Smaug.
Yeah.
And the kind of dialect conversation between him and Bilbo. That's just epic, and also in the films as well.
What I loved about it the first time I read it, and I kind of haven't really got into it as much in this one, is just like the friendships and the way everyone is with each other.
Yeah.
Like in groups. So like, I don't know how to describe it, but I just think that he writes friendship really well and like the struggles that everybody has and how they all come together to help each other. Like it's very like heroic. Like it's not like one person's lacking in something and then is just kind of left to fend for themselves. It's very much all coming together and working together as a team.
It kind of feels like that at the start though.
Yeah.
Because obviously Bilbo is the thief.
Yeah.
So he doesn't really have any kind of...
It's like the outsider.
Yeah. So he doesn't really have much to kind of go on from what he's done in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So all the dwarfs are kind of like, you know what I mean, why are we bringing him along? Like, how can he actually have input to this?
Yeah.
And then through just little things that he does on the journeys, it just shows kind of his impact. Like, take the trolls near the start.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And kind of the whole situation with that, and all the dwarfs are all just about to get cooked.
Yeah.
Until Bilbo rescues them. You know
Yeah.
what I mean, you've got the big spiders and all that as well. So there's so much that he does through it, where then afterwards, upon reflection, they're kind of like not looking at him as a master, but they're like, anything for you, Bilbo. We're happy to help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that development from how they see him is brilliant.
Definitely. Steph likes the feast when they're all turning up and he's confused as to where they're coming from. Is that when they all meet up for breakfast? They all go to his house for breakfast?
Just at the start.
Yeah. And they all
Gandalf
keep
leaves.
piling into his house.
Yeah, that's right at the start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do really like that scene.
Because they just keep coming like one after each other, then in twos, then in threes.
What I want to know is
It's
how
like,
did
we're done
Bilbo
yet?
have that much food? Just, I mean, did he just do his weekly,
Pantry.
monthly shop? Like,
In this Hobbit hole, you've got your big massive pantry. You fill it up for the year,
yeah.
and it all got done in a day.
Yeah, he just got absolutely annihilated.
Ransacked.
Needs to go to Asda now.
You just get a delivery, it's fine.
Yeah, just home delivery. Zamaya says, "Oh, what I read the most interesting part was the Gollum scene. I never know if I say his name properly.
Oh.
Is it Gollum?
Yeah.
Some people say Golem.
Gollum.
It's Gollum.
Yeah, I'd say Gollum.
Okay, that's
Absolutely.
fine. Okay.
Or Schmeagol.
Steph says, I think the comments, he didn't have much food, but I guess that's by his standards and not ours. Yeah, that's true. Sorry, I got a notification on my watch. I got distracted. That's not great. Yeah, no, to our standards, it's probably like 3 years worth of food or something that he had, and he'd had it all squirreled away. And then obviously the dwarfs came in and just.
I wish we got a bit more of a background on the dwarfs.
Yeah.
So there's an awful lot of them, and you kind of get like a bit of a background on a couple of them, but then the other ones just kind of are almost like fillers.
Yeah.
And
that was one good
spoilers on this, aren't we?
Obviously, yes, this is obviously a full spoiler.
So we do have two
video.
dwarf deaths.
Yeah.
The Battle of the Five Armies, which technically is only like a chapter. But
yeah, it's such a small. It's such a small part of the book. Yeah, like they made 3. Oh no, they made a whole film.
Yeah.
A whole, not just like an hour film or an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Like what, a 2.5 hour film on it?
Yeah. But
and the CGI on that one was absolutely terrible.
But it technically has nothing to do with Bilbo, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So he's obviously there to help, and everything's from his point of view. So I think that's why it's so short in the book. But then obviously in the film side of things, it's then trying to make kind of like a massive battle scene, which sounds epic, but you know, I mean, it just.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just didn't need to be.
Didn't need to be a thing. Down.
Yeah. Steph, have you read the Lord of the Rings series? Or have you only read The Hobbit? Out of curiosity. And also, how's everyone feeling about, I know we're still talking about The Hobbit, but how's everyone feeling about April's book? I'm really excited to reread this.
Yeah.
This one's been on your shelf for a while. I've been telling you to read this one
since we
got together, yeah.
So
he's not done it yet. Yet he made me read Kafka. So
I bought you Kafka, yeah.
Yeah. And then I bought it on the Kindle. Read it on the Kindle. And then I had a Kafka book, what was it, Norwegian Wood?
Yep.
On my bookshelf, which I've owned for years and years. And basically, Daniel got gifted that because I am never going to read that. Maya hasn't started it yet, but looking forward to it. I read that. When did I read Anxious People? I want to say it was the year it came out. 2018, 19. I'm probably speaking absolute rubbish. Anxious People. Just looking on Goodreads, 2 seconds. Oh, I speak absolute nonsense. I read it in 2020.
Just going back to The Hobbit, though.
Yeah.
Was anyone sad when Smaug died?
Did everybody hear that?
Because I was pretty sad. I think he kind of, as much as a dragon, you got such a personality, like I said, from that scene.
Yeah.
And then he just took an arrow to the heart.
I felt a little bit sorry for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I always feel sorry for like mythical creatures. Like in King Kong, I felt really sorry for King Kong. Godzilla. Felt really sorry for Godzilla. So I'm probably the worst person. I always feel bad for the little villains.
That's what it means. It's a contradiction between greed and greed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, well, the dwarfs got incredibly greedy when it came down to the amount that they had, and then obviously dragons are incredibly greedy with the amount of gold that they need to hoard.
Yeah.
And then you just sleep on it and do nothing with it.
Yeah,
It's like, come on.
exactly. Steph's saying she's not read them all. I got part of the way through the first one and got a little bored. I've totally forgotten what this month's is. It's Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. Don't know why I said it like
I know
that.
it's not CH.
Steph said they were sad. He was one of her favourites.
Yeah.
So there we go. But yeah, I'm finding it very difficult to kind of talk about it.
It's because you've not finished it recently, so it's not all fresh in that kind of adrenaline zone from a kind of good read, and you probably felt a bit pressured today to try and get a lot of it read.
I did.
But I know what you're like when you're out in public and it's busy and you're
I'm not paying attention.
No one's getting close to you and getting germs on you.
If I had been cleaning the house and listening to this audiobook, then I think I would have been in a...
But technically, I have no excuse. You could have done it last week.
I could have, yeah. But last week I was reading so many books and I had a great reading week last week.
Well, you're in a groove just now, aren't you?
I am, yeah. Yeah, I'm reading another thriller just now, which is a bit bizarre. The reason why I'm reading it is because Katie Coulson did a video on it, and I wanted to watch it to the end, but she starts talking about spoilers, so I obviously didn't want to watch that without reading it. It's called The Quiet Tenant by Clemence McKillon. I don't know how you say that, but yeah, it's a strange one. That's all I'll say. It's very strange. I've kind of been filling Daniel in on some of it, because he's not going to read it.
No.
Steph says, think because I read it weeks ago, I've forgotten loads of it and was also ill the other week and started placement, so my brain is mush this week. How is your placement going? And I hope you're feeling better since being ill. And how long is your placement? I feel like it's quite a while that your placement is, because the hours that you're doing seems really hectic. But yeah, does anyone have any further thoughts on The Hobbit?
Well, I was going to try and do one of the riddles for you.
Oh, are you?
If you can guess one of the riddles.
I'm terrible at riddles.
Yeah.
But okay, on you go.
Cool. So, what has roots as nobody sees, is taller than trees, up it goes, and yet never grows?
Say it again.
What has roots as nobody sees, is taller than trees, up it goes, and yet never grows?
Does anyone know? I'm terrible, so I'm not going
to
to know.
to go through the misty version.
I still don't get it.
A mountain.
I was going to let people guess.
Oh, they can guess the next one.
Oh, well,
then.
you've got the answer. Right.
Cool. When you guess this one, then I'll give ample time.
Oh, Samaya said it. Right, and
Sorry. Voiceless it cries, wingless flutters, toothless bites, mouthless mutters. Voiceless it cries, wingless flutters, toothless bites, mouthless mutters.
no idea. Does anybody know? I didn't know that this was going to be a segment, just to put this out there. Daniel has decided this. And we're on the live, so
we can hear it.
That's just how it is now. We can hear it. Steph says wind.
Whoop whoop.
Yay!
Correct.
Well done.
One more.
Okay.
More for me than it is you. Alive without breath, as cold as death, never thirsty, ever drinking, all in mail, never clinking. Alive without breath, as cold as death, never thirsty, ever drinking, all in mail, never clinking.
No idea. Does anyone know? Just to satisfy Daniel's whatever this is.
It's an animal.
What was it?
Alive without breath.
Why are you shaking your head when you're saying
Because
that?
it has no breath.
Oh.
As cold as death. Never thirsty, as it's ever drinking. All in male, never clinking.
And it's an animal.
A fish.
What? That's ridiculous. Anyway, enough of that. Steph guessed fish.
Hey.
Well done, Steph. You're really good at that. Steph's saying it's going well. I think just stressful. It's 10 weeks long, only doing 3 long days, 7 a.m. to 7:20 p.m. and a short day, 7 a.m. to 12:15 p.m. now every week. So it's all good. Okay, that's not too bad. I mean, there's 7 a.m.s to 7:20s. When I worked in care, I used to do 7 till 7, and that's a lot. That is a lot. So my little body cannot deal with that. I struggle enough going to the shops. But yeah, well, that was The Hobbit. That was fun. I'm sorry I didn't really have much to say on the matter. I'm glad that you've reread it recently, so that I'm not just sitting here going, yeah, it was a book.
And I feel like I want to do more quizzy type stuff, but I don't think you'll be receptive.
Ugh.
So let's not.
Yes. But yeah, Anxious People by Frederick Backman. I'm really excited to reread this one. So, does everybody know the general premise of it, or has nobody looked into it? But basically, there's someone that does something, and I can't remember who that person is. So I'm excited to relive that and then find out who that was.
Do you recall what your favourite element of the book is? Whether it's the building of scenes, whether it's characters, or
For what?
For Anxious People.
For Anxious People, I think the way the storyline all threads together is really cleverly done.
Is it different POVs, or is it?
I honestly can't remember.
No. Fair.
I've usually got quite a good memory, but I don't right now. I think it's because I'm tired, so that's not helpful.
And you've been curating baskets for decorating.
Yeah, I've been getting excited about decorating.
The sun is coming in.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm thinking about garden stuff. I'm thinking about we're going to be redecorating the bathroom, and I've got all these wild and wacky ideas, and I think Daniel's on board, and I'm really excited. So yeah, but I think I'm going to film that process. I don't think it's going to be happening super soon, but maybe in the next couple of months. So I don't know if that's videos that you'd be interested in seeing, but we're going to redo the whole of the bathroom, and apart from like the toilet, the shower, and all that sort of stuff, because that stuff's still relatively new, but like the actual walls, like tile type things, like the decor in there, like it's wild and wacky. That's all I'll say. But yeah, I will film the process so that you can see what the before and after is and like the progress, because I just think that'd be so fun. I love watching videos like that. And then we're going to be doing the hallway, because the hallway in the house has never actually been decorated since I've had it. So that's really exciting. That's also going to be really wild and wacky. You up?
Yeah, the garden.
Then the garden. Daniel has started the garden because we are living in Weed Central.
Not for very much longer.
No, because it's been.
We can decorate it all for the summer, kind of like a hobbit party. With loads of fairy lights.
I've got so many fairy lights for that garden that's not been done yet. And I bought a hammock like 3 years ago, and this is the year it's going to come out of its box. It's going to be used, hopefully.
It will.
But anyway, this is enough of that. Steph saying it's 425 hours over the 10 weeks. It's mental health nursing I'm studying, so in the care sector. I genuinely was reading that as you were working 425 hours in a week, and I was like, that's not okay. But yeah. So I read the blurb but have since forgotten it. Well, given I forgot the book, I have no idea, Steph says. Well, that's fine. We all seem to be on the same page today. I've got sleepy brain, so yep. Samaya says good luck with it all. But yeah, is there anything else anyone wants to say? I feel like this one was quite a short and sweet one.
Out of the main cast in Lord of the Rings, whose father was in The Hobbit?
Here we go. Out of the main cast, whose father was in The Hobbit? Did you look all this up before?
No. Well, I was just doing the riddles, but I couldn't remember all of them. So
The guy that was in Being Human.
No.
No. I love him.
He was trying to give you Aragorn vibes. So.
Yeah.
But you've got Glowing, which is Gimli's dad.
Oh, somebody said that.
Oh, nice.
Gimli, son of Glowing. Glowing. Who's that? Steph has no idea. I had no idea either, Steph. Do you have any more?
I'll leave it as that.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Am I going to get all this when we come off the live?
No, I'll behave.
Okay.
I've got Fallout to play.
Okay. Well, like I said, it has been very short and sweet, this live, and you've had to put up with Daniel's quizzing.
You love it.
Whether you like it or not. It's brought a nice fun segment. I just didn't know that was coming, because if it had, then I would have maybe had a thought.
Had proper planned, like, lives.
What kind of chaos would that be?
Organised chaos.
Hmm.
And then we could do like little segments like that. Podcast.
Daniel, the man that will not come onto the camera, but will happily sit on another side of the room and speak.
I am building it up, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The suspense.
Mm-hmm.
There's not enough space behind your desk.
There's actually not enough space for us to sit here. We could sit elsewhere, but I actually quite like sitting here to do lives because of the lighting and everything. But yeah, and if we did it in the living room, it would be chaotic with the cats. Like, there'd be so many cats.
Well, I could start doing it on my laptop and you can invite me, so then we're split screen.
Yeah, but then it'll echo.
Oh yeah, of course.
So it doesn't work.
Well,
so maybe you'll have to start doing it in the living room. I'll do it in here. But yeah, well, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Like I said, very, very short and sweet. I think I've said that 3 times now. So I'm not going to say it 4. But yeah, the live show for anxious people will probably be the first weekend of May. Possibly, but I'm not 100% sure. But this one has obviously been a lot later than originally intended. Just because we were on holiday last week and we were quite busy, so...
Shout out to Blood Rain as well.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone should read it if you haven't, or if you've not seen it, or anything like that, definitely go and check it out.
So, Blood Rain by Ezra Payne, the author that I did the interview with. Daniel just finished Blood Rain not that long ago and absolutely loved it. And I don't know how you don't have a book hangover and how you're able to read anything else.
I keep thinking about it, but I'm not going to. I've got so much good stuff, like I said, lined up.
Yeah.
So I'm on to Teddy Pratchett just now. Like, fantastic. And got Anxious People, got Good Omens, couple of Blake Crouch. Like, there's so much kind of be excited for. So it was a fantastic book. It'll take me a while to find something that will captivate me quite like that. But there's a lot still to read. So yeah. But highly recommend. Yes,
and it's on Kindle Unlimited, or you can buy it from Waterstones and a few other places. I cannot for the life of me remember. Yes. Oh, for my birthday, I didn't tell anybody about that. Yeah, for my birthday, Daniel contacted Ezra and got him to sign a copy of Blood Drain for me. This is the book we were talking about, by the way. You'll have seen it everywhere now because I just put it everywhere. But yeah, so he asked him to sign a copy for me, and he did, which is really, really cool. So that was one of my birthday presents from Daniel, and I absolutely love it. And then Daniel got excited because it meant that he got my other copy. Yeah, it was planned. Yes, it was planned. So yeah, Blood Rain, nice little fantasy. High fantasy. Yes, so fast paced. So if you don't like things being drawn out and described over the top, then you will love this book. He does describe things, but not over the top. Like, it's very, very well written, and the pacing is absolutely amazing. That's cool. So he had ulterior motives then. Of course he did. Do you know Daniel also got... So I had the Waterstones exclusive edition of How High We Go in the Dark. Daniel's eyeballed this for goodness knows how long, and has basically got to the stage where he was like, he didn't even like the book. So now he owns that.
I always say, do you want to swap?
Yeah, he asked me if I want to swap for like a paperback. Why would I want a book on my shelf now that I really didn't like?
Then there you go.
Yeah. But anyway, I am picking the book for May. I feel like I haven't picked a book to read in a while. When was the last time I picked one? Was the last one Kafka?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
There's too many books in between.
What did we read? What have we read so far this year? Kafka. Yeah, I just stopped there because I'm like, ugh.
No, but there's something else I read.
We're only missing February.
Yeah.
Didn't I love
Notes on
that book?
Execution? No, was that
No,
your
that was last year.
Oh.
What did we read in February? Oh my goodness.
Can't remember.
What did we read in February, everyone? How has that happened?
We'll just jump on a Discord. Should not be there.
I don't even know how I've forgotten that.
Hunger Games. No?
No, we read that
no?
together and I still dislike that book. What did we read in February?
In my dreams I hold the knife. When was that?
Was that January? No, I'm sure we started with Kafka. Oh, in my dreams I hold a knife, Steph said.
Yeah.
I looked on Goodreads.
Oh yeah.
So was Kafka February then? No. No, it wasn't. No, I'm getting confused because I read. Yeah, Kafka was January, and then in my dreams I hold a knife. I really liked that one as well, so that's pretty atrocious that I forgot that. So Maya says, lol, what would we do without Goodreads? I know, I am constantly looking at Goodreads, being like, when did I read this? Have I read this book before?
That's a massive thank you from you. So before you, I never heard of Goodreads. Never
Yeah,
used it.
Daniel never used it.
No.
Before you met me, how many books would you read in a year?
Like 5.
How many did you read last year?
52.
Yeah. Did you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Indeed, I've got a target of 55 for this year. My target was 50 for last year, and I got 52.
Yeah.
I'm also doing the graphic novels and all that in it as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, your inspiration for books has been great, and I didn't really have anyone that enjoyed to read. Yeah. So as much as I enjoyed it, I would end up going on Xbox with friends or going out and things like that. So there's other things that I would do. But the fact that we can spend time together and read as well, it's brilliant. So and there's been so much more people that I speak to now that read and things like that. So yeah, it's been great. Yeah. And long may it last.
Yes. Steph says a book a week last year. In theory, you read a book a week.
Yeah. That's the aim, I think, for everyone. If you get at least a book a week done, then.
What did I do? 65?
I can't remember. Probably like that.
Let's check Goodreads. I'm pretty sure I did 65 books last year.
But it's been so annoying because if you're on Android and you've got Goodreads, then you can't change the editions on the app. And that would infuriate me. But then obviously I've just started going on the browser now and just kind of put that to my home page. And it's so much better. Then it'll update on the app kind of accordingly in that sense. But
I read 67 last year, which is incredible for me. And this year I would like to read 65.
I'm ahead of you just now.
14 books read, but I've got 2 that I'm almost finished.
Yeah.
Well, I'm almost finished The Hobbit, and I'm almost finished that A Quiet Tenant or whatever it's called. But yeah. Anyway, we are just talking amongst ourselves now. Steph had read 74 books, but a lot of those were the beginning of the year. Does anyone have like a period every year that you get really slumpy or you just don't read at all? Mine is usually between March and June, but this year that is not the case. I got slumpy January, February, March-ish. And then, January and February, I got really slumpy. And then I became like a machine I feel like I've just become a machine the last couple of weeks.
Yep.
Just read so many books. I'm just really I'm reading on my Kindle pretty much all the time. And now when I notice a big difference reading on my Kindle. Daniel, on my birthday, Daniel got gifted his birthday present. Now, Daniel's birthday is in August. And I don't mean for last year. I mean for this year. Daniel has been given a Kindle for his birthday.
So the circumstances, though.
Daniel has become a Kindle person, which is funny because Daniel all last year was like, nah, couldn't do that. Don't like it. I like a book. Don't like it at all. Daniel tries a Kindle and then pretty much is on a Kindle all the time.
Yeah.
But Daniel's got a Kindle Fire, so he can read graphic novels and things on it.
So good for graphic novels. I think that's the main thing that drew me into it.
Yeah.
And then obviously you've bought your Kindle obviously for like Border Box and
Yeah.
stuff, but then it didn't quite work out in that sense.
Yep.
So yeah, I am proud owner and happy to do that.
He's a Kindle man. Steph says mine varies on what I've got going on outside of reading. I feel like if I've got a lot of stuff going on that I don't have a lot of control of, I tend to read a lot more. I don't know if that makes sense. Maybe more because I need to escape more. I'm not really sure. Maybe I'm trying to escape things just now. The fact that I was turning 34.
You're rusty little relic here.
Do you know, I was in Hobbycraft today. I never told you this, so I'm going to tell you now. I was in Hobbycraft and I was buying a sewing kit, and this sewing kit had a pair of scissors in it, and the woman ID'd me, and she was like, you've got to be 18, obviously, to buy them. And I was like, I am 34 years old. And I showed her my ID, and she was just like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, no, thank you so much. You think I'm under 18? I don't know how to feel about that. I'm not really sure. But I was like, what are you IDing me for? I'm buying felt and clay and a sewing kit. But I was like, do you think I'm going to stab people with sewing needles? But yeah, there's little scissors in there, so that explains it. Samaya says, I only started reading regularly again last April, so I don't know yet.
You go through some amount, Samaya, don't you?
Yeah, you read so much. I'm always looking at your Goodreads going, how on earth how have you done that? It's like
impressive.
Yeah, it's so impressive. Steph says I'm usually so exhausted if I have other stuff going on and can't read when I'm tired. That's fair enough. I can't read in bed because I'll just fall asleep. I know that's obviously different, but Daniel can read lying in bed and I'll be watching TV, but I just can't do it in bed. But I can understand if you're really tired. I can't do it. If my brain's really busy, I can't read. Steph said we had that conversation on break yesterday. Samaya said a few weeks ago I was in A&E with my stepdad and the nurse asked me my birthday because she thought I was under 18. I'm 33. Lol. Yeah, I always find it really funny when someone's like, oh, do you have ID? I'm like, yeah, I do have ID, but
hey, it's a compliment, an absolute compliment.
You got ID'd recently. Well, it wasn't recently, it was a couple of months ago, and you had to run back out to the car to get it because you didn't even take it in with you.
Sometimes I don't, because obviously you shouldn't need to, but I get this thing as well, even when I'm in the queue waiting, and I am getting anything that I know I could possibly get ID'd for, it's like I get anxious thinking, like, somehow that they might not believe me or whatever. I'm like, but my ID's in my pocket, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
But it's still like this, I don't know.
See, I'm just always prepared, and 9 times out of 10 I actually have my ID out ready to go because I always get ID'd. But I don't mind that. Like, it doesn't, I find it like a compliment. I think I get upset more when someone doesn't ask me. And I generally don't get ID'd if I've got no makeup on. And I'm like, do I just look like shit? And they think we don't need to ID her, she's having a terrible day. She needs this.
Those eyes have seen things.
Yes. So I said I've been reading a lot, especially this year so far. Reading a lot. If there was a marathon, you'd be finished 4 times over by now. So I says I get it's a compliment, but I also don't think I look that young. I agree. I don't think I look like under 18. Maybe under 25, sure, but under 18, no, I do not think so.
Maybe.
And if I do, why can I not get on the bus as a child? Mind you said today I looked like I was going to school.
Yeah.
Because I have black trousers on, just like a jumper,
Sweatshirt.
like a sweatshirt, like you would wear at school, and I had my backpack on from when I came in from town. So he said that it looked like I was going to school. So yeah, but I love how this was a book club conversation, and it's actually just.
You know what? We saved the video with extra content based on the lack of finishing from your end.
This live has been one of my funnest ones that I think I've had. One of my favourite ones, along with obviously Ezra's interview. But yeah, I think it's just nice to come together once a month and just all have a little chat. I think we should probably
Do you have your mug on you?
Do that more often. What mug?
All together now.
No, I don't have it on my desk.
Perfect moment that would have been.
Yeah, I know. I've got this mug that says all together now. I referred to it as like a Beatles song, but it's not.
It's like that's come together.
Yeah, but do they not say all together right now?
Come together. Oh my god.
It still makes sense.
But
anyway,
there's so many things that
Before Daniel chucks something at me from over his side of the desk. I'm only joking. Daniel won't chuck anything at me.
There's always a first.
Yeah, well, that's very true. But yeah, does anyone else have anything that they would like to say before we head off?
Yeah, while you're on random things, you may as well add something else to you.
Oh, Daniel's so excited. So with birthday money, I decided to buy myself some Lego. And I got this. I've been wanting it for ages, and it was on a good offer. I don't know why that's been brought into here. To be honest, I was actually going to do a little haul of what I bought for my birthday, but
Well, I've just ruined that for you.
I didn't get round to that yet. Yeah, you ruined the signed copy and some Lego. But never mind.
Welcome to possible ADHD life.
But yeah, so I said, "Ooh, very cute." Steph said, "I'm so jealous of that set." That set just now is £33.33 in Argos at the moment. Just now, I don't know if that's in all Argoses, but it is in the Aberdeen one. That's where I got it. I have not seen it that cheap before, so if you are looking for it and you've seen it's a bit expensive and you do have an extra £33.33, then that is where you can find it. Also, I'm playing with mascara. I don't actually know why. Just in case you wondered what on earth this was in my hand. Do you have anything, Daniel, that you would like to share?
This is meant to be short and sweet.
Yeah, I know.
So it's only because you said it like 4 times.
I know why. Don't know why.
I'm only kidding. No, just overall conclusion again, Hobbit, fantastic for me and yourself. Always worth a read if you haven't, so kudos to those who go ahead and do so. And yeah, don't really waste your time on the movies.
Yeah. Steph says, "Ooh, was that the one in Sainsbury's?" Argos is the shop that's in Sainsbury's, if that's what you're meaning. I think they've all merged together, so Argos is the little shop in Sainsbury's. But I will say Sainsbury's doesn't have the same prices as Argos, because in Sainsbury's it was more expensive for Lego sets, because I got a couple of other Lego sets with my birthday money. We are not showing them, Daniel. Oh, it's the cup altogether now.
It's over here.
But yeah, so the Sainsbury's ones are more expensive. But then I got another set in Sainsbury's that was cheaper than Argos. So look between the two of them. But the upset is definitely... Say what? Steph, you live in Aberdeen. Shut up.
Don't tell people to shut up, that's rude.
You do not. Did you know this?
Why would I know this?
I didn't know this.
I've only been here for 5 years.
I didn't know this. Yeah, I was meaning the one beside Poundland. I'm in Aberdeen. Yes, the one beside Poundland. At Berryden? Yep, between you and Tori, pretty much. Oh my goodness. What is happening here? What is happening? Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on. Something's just come to me. Steph, did we go to school together? I think we did. I'm not even kidding. I have just clicked. Please tell me we went to school together, or I look like an absolute idiot.
I had that when I first moved up to Aberdeen. Someone thought I had.
I want to say Steph was in my year or the year above me. Or did we go to primary school together? Steph, I met you in real life.
So what primary did you go to again?
I don't think it was primary. I think it was secondary. Steph, I think we sat next to each other. I don't know. Depends what school you went to. It begins with an H. Steph, I think we went to the same school.
What were you remembering?
How has it taken me? Because I've just looked at Steph's name and I'm like, I went to school with someone with that name.
Yeah.
Steph, I think we went to the same school. This is hilarious.
Well, wait and see.
How long have we all been talking for? I'm convinced.
Patiently waiting.
Yes!
On the way.
Yes! I think we did. William is my brother. Hold on. I'm trying to think. What? If we were in the same year. Wow. Mind blown. Were we in the same year?
It's a small world after
Somebody
all.
says, lol, belated school
It's a
reunion for
small
you.
world
That is
after
bizarre. Were we in the same form class? I was born in 89. You must have been the year above me. Possibly, because I was 90. Unless you were born at the ass end of 89. And then you would have been in the same year as me. Oh my goodness.
93 is where it's at.
Okay,
Yep.
Daniel. Not everyone's 30 years old.
Ooh,
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, that makes sense. I went to school at 4.
This is a whole new video now.
I think we were in the same year. I think we would have. Did you wear glasses in school, Steph? We need to discuss this. We need to discuss this. I was friends with. I'm trying to think how to describe this without like just spewing people's names. I did indeed wear glasses. I remember you. I remember you. It's taken me this long, but I remember you. I used to hang out with. What's the best way to describe this? Like the emo goth people. So like where the not the canteen, where the hall was, like the main hall, if you went up the side steps and there was like the back bit of that and you went up those steps, I used to hang out there. If that gives you an inclination. Wild.
Fascinating.
Absolutely wild. And I left in 4th year because I suck. That's all I'm going to say. This is amazing. This life is taking a toll. We're going to rename this life.
So, yeah, the Hobbit
Steph
was like
and Katie went to school together. The Hobbit was okay.
I was excited for a Hobbit live.
Was your brother older or younger than you? Yeah, I know where you hung out. I was beside the lockers, beside English. I'm trying to. Can I say people's names? I probably could. I was friends with like Jessica, Iona, I like Steve-O and things. If that.
Always a Jessica.
Down. Yeah, there's always a Jessica. Yeah, he was 2 years above me. I don't think I remember your brother. I don't think. Steph, were you a prefect? I'm sure you were a prefect.
You got down a rabbit hole now.
Have. This is not short and sweet at all. This is amazing. I didn't even know you were in Aberdeen, and then it's like, wait a second. I know you. That is wild. Absolutely wild. Daniel has grown bored with us.
Yeah.
Because he's switching on the Xbox. So he doesn't care for our chats anymore.
It's sweet, but
yeah.
There's no business for me there.
No, because Daniel didn't go to school here. And Daniel would be a lot younger and below us anyway, so I think you were the year below me. You would have remembered.
First year when you left.
Yeah, don't make me sound weird. Yeah, I think you were the year below me. You would have remembered his nickname more, I think. Steph, we are going to discuss this offline.
Oh, school friends!
Because there's 4 people watching this, and 3 of them don't know. So, yeah. But anyway, this became my favorite live.
Spontaneous.
Yes. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Steph, you and I are going to speak privately and so we don't have to bore everybody else with this, because like I said, Daniel is already gone. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and I will speak to you all soon. Steph, I will be speaking to you straight after this live and discussing this. I'm going to try and find a picture of me from school. I think I've got one. And then, yeah. I don't know if you'd recognise me or not. I'm not really sure.
Probably. I don't feel like you want to leave this live now.
No, this is where I live now. Steph says, thanks, what a small world. Samaya says, have a good one. Everybody have a good weekend. I will see you all very soon. Steph, I will speak to you in a moment. Happy reading, everyone. And I'll see you all next time.
Peace out.
Bye.